Hello everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Dogs. Today we start the tours of Ben, a first-time dog owner. Today, choosing a dog. Let's get started.
Hey, up here. When you've got a little sister, you need a secret place. It's always, Ben, will you play a game with me? Ben, how do you spell Mississippi? It makes me nuts. Anyhow, I promised I'd tell you how I became a dog nerd. I'm not a nerd, really, but I do know a lot about dogs. When my folks asked me what I wanted for my 13th birthday, I said a dog. I figured after they said no dog, I'd have a better chance of getting a motorbike. It's always worked before, only this year they surprised me. This year they said, do your homework, Ben, then tell us what kind of dog you want. Click that picture of me up in the corner, and I'll tell you what I learned.
13? I asked for a dog when I was 5 and I got one.
Dogs have 4 feet, they bark, and they wag their tails, right? Well, that's what I thought. But my mom's the kind of person who won't buy a new toaster without reading 14 back issues of Consumer Reports. She says, homework, you study up. I decided to start with the dog man. He's this old guy who's always walking about 1,000,000 dogs in the park, right about the time baseball practice gets out. I've never talked to him before, but one night, I decided to catch up with him. Excuse me, I said. I'm thinking about getting a new dog. How do you figure out which one's best? The dog man laughed. You should choose a dog as carefully as you'd pick a wife, he said. The way marriages go these days, the dog might be around longer. I said I wasn't planning to get married right away. I should hope not, the dog man said. What I mean is, you want to find a dog that fits you, your personality, your family, your house, your life. I looked at the big bouquet of dogs he was holding by their leashes. I pointed at this black and tan one that sort of reminded me of a Porsche. He looks kind of cool, I said. The Doberman, the dog man said? She's a beauty, all right. But Dobies are a lot of dog. Real dominant. They take a lot of training. The dog man looked me up and down. You tough, he said. What kind of question is that, I thought. The thing is, the dog man said, all dogs come down from wolves. They're what you call pack animals. A pack is like a family. Somebody's got to be in charge. You put an easygoing, wishy-washy kind of guy together with a real assertive animal, it's going to be the dog that runs the show. And that's not a pretty sight, the dog man said. So I'm walking along, trying to figure out what kind of a guy I am. Wild man or wimp. There was this little white dog trotting along with the rest of them, looking kind of like a crumpled Kleenex. I guess it was cute, but I just couldn't see myself with a dog that looked like that. The dog man nudged my arm. It's got nothing to do with size, he said. Some of the biggest dogs are the very gentlest. And some of those little guys, look out. They rule the roost. It's about attitude, the dog man said. A dog's as big as it thinks it is. I've met Chihuahuas that thought they were bigger than King Kong. But size isn't everything, the dog man said. There's more, I said. Exercise, the dog man said. Some dogs are born jocks. You put an athlete with a couch potato, forget it. Nobody's happy. The dog man jerked his head towards the dogs. These guys, their owners can't make time to walk them, so they hire me. It's a good thing, too.
Like humans, dogs need regular exercise to keep fit and healthy. If you turn exercise into a game, it's more likely to become something you and your dog will look forward to regularly.
This is starting to sound a lot like work, I said. I thought having a dog was supposed to be fun. It is fun, the dog man said. And with a dog around, you'll never get lonely. Of course you want to make sure your dog isn't lonesome. Dogs get lonely, I said. Yup, he said. They're sociable animals, just like us. That's probably why we get along so well. One more thing you need to think about, the dog man said. What's that, I said. Hair, he said. A dog's coat needs attention. More work, I said. More fun, the dog man said. I made a mental note to keep my eyes out for a short-haired dog. If I got one with long hair, well, my sister's always messing with her doll's hair. Maybe I could convince her it's fun to groom a dog. So where do I find a dog, I said. Breeder's your best bet, the dog man said. They know their stuff. Of course, you could stop by the shelter and see who's there. Good dogs can have bad luck, you know. And those guys are already broken in. If you get a puppy, it can be a lot of work.
We got our dog from a breeder.
I don't care, I said. I want a puppy. It was about the only thing I knew for sure right then. Before I headed home, I asked the dog man how come he knew so much about dogs. Before I retired, he said, I was a cop. My partner was a dog. You let me know how it all turns out, okay, kid?
They come into the world blind, defenseless, and totally dependent. But a puppy will stand at 2 weeks, walk at 3, and run by the time it's 5 weeks old. In a very short time, a puppy will begin to learn its most important social lessons through play.
Cute.
If you're pet shopping, consult these puppies. It's kind of like computer matchmaking, except these guys help you get a dog, and not a date. When you're done, just click the Contents button if you want to nose around on your own. Or click my picture if you want to take another tour.
How much time will your dog be alone on an average weekday? Hey, Fist.
Yeah.
Did your owner ever put you in a kennel?
Only once, when she went on a Club Med vacation. The food was so-so, but I liked my roommate, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
You mean you didn't feel abandoned?
Yeah, my owner sent me a postcard every other day. Say, I'll trade you 3 Mexican stamps for 1 young Elvis.
Yeah, anyway, that's all for today. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay straight!